In a quiet English town surrounded by old brick houses and narrow cobblestone streets, there lived a young man named James. James was kind, hardworking, and ambitious. He had dreams of building a successful life, owning a beautiful home, and making his family proud. But there was one problem. Every evening after work, James would sit alone in his small flat and scroll through social media. As he watched his screen, he saw former classmates driving expensive cars through London, posting photos from holidays in Italy, celebrating promotions, and sharing what appeared to be perfect lives. With every photo he saw, a painful thought grew stronger in his mind. Everyone is moving forward except me. Day after day, James compared his life to theirs. He compared his small flat to their luxury homes. He compared his modest salary to their apparent wealth. He compared his struggles to their success. Slowly, the joy disappeared from his life. Even the things he once appreciated no longer seemed enough. One cold evening, rain tapped gently against his window as he stared at his phone. Another friend had just announced a new business venture. Another had bought a beautiful house. Another was traveling across Europe. James placed his phone down and sighed. For the first time, he genuinely felt like a failure. That night, he couldn't sleep. He lay awake, listening to the distant sound of rain and passing cars. His mind raced with questions. Why am I falling behind? What am I doing wrong? Why does everyone else seem happier than me? The next morning, hoping to clear his thoughts, James went for a walk. The sky was bright after the rain, and the air felt fresh. He wandered into a beautiful public garden near the town square. There, among colorful flowers and neatly trimmed hedges, worked an elderly gardener named Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson had cared for the garden for many years. People often visited him for advice because he possessed a calm wisdom that seemed to put troubled minds at ease. Seeing James sitting alone on a bench, Mr. Thompson smiled and walked over. "You seem troubled, son," he said. James hesitated for a moment before opening his heart. He told the old gardener everything, how he constantly compared himself to others, how he felt left behind, how social media made him feel as though everyone else was succeeding while he was failing. Mr. Thompson listened patiently. When James finished speaking, the old man simply nodded. Then he pointed toward the garden. "Tell me what you see." James looked around. "I see flowers." Mr. Thompson smiled. "Look closer." James observed the garden carefully. There were roses, sunflowers, tulips, daffodils. Each flower looked different. Each one grew in its own way. Mr. Thompson asked, "Do you notice something interesting?" James shook his head. The gardener smiled. "Not a single flower is trying to be another flower." James looked again. The roses weren't trying to become sunflowers. The tulips weren't jealous of the daffodils. Each flower simply bloomed when its time came. Then Mr. Thompson said something James would never forget. "A rose blooms in its season. A sunflower blooms in its season. Neither worries about the other. They simply grow." James sat silently. The words struck him deeply. The gardener continued, "The problem with comparison is that you're comparing your behind-the-scenes life to someone else's highlight reel." James listened carefully. Mr. Thompson picked up a small gardening shovel and drew an iceberg in the soil. "Success is like this iceberg," he explained. "People only see what's above the water. The awards, the holidays, the new cars. But beneath the surface are years of sacrifice, failure, disappointment, and hard work. Most people never show those parts. For a moment, James thought about all the posts he had seen online. Beautiful smiles, luxury lifestyles, perfect moments. But he realized something. He had never seen their fears, their sleepless nights, their struggles, their setbacks. He had only seen the finished picture, not the difficult journey behind it. Then Mr. Thompson asked a question. When was the last time you compared yourself to the person you were 5 years ago? James paused. He couldn't remember. For years, he had focused only on other people's progress. He had forgotten to notice his own. He thought about how far he had actually come. He had completed his education, built a stable career, supported his family, overcome challenges that once seemed impossible. Maybe he wasn't as far behind as he thought. Maybe he had simply been looking in the wrong direction. As the morning sun illuminated the garden, James felt something changing inside him. For the first time in years, he stopped measuring his life against everyone else's. Instead, he began appreciating his own journey. In the weeks that followed, James made a decision. He spent less time comparing and more time improving. He read books, learned new skills, focused on his health, worked on his goals. Most importantly, he practiced gratitude every day. He became thankful for the things he had once overlooked: his loving family, his good health, his opportunities, his future. Months passed. James wasn't suddenly rich. He didn't become famous. He wasn't driving a luxury car. But something far more valuable had happened. He was happy. He felt peaceful. He felt confident. He no longer woke up feeling defeated, because he finally understood a truth that many people spend their entire lives learning. Life is not a race. Everyone has a different path, a different story, a different timeline. And comparing your journey to someone else's only steals the joy from your own. One evening, as James walked through the same garden where he had met Mr. Thompson, he noticed the flowers once again. Some were blooming, some were still growing, some had already reached their season, and all of them were beautiful, just as they were. James smiled and whispered to himself, "The only person I need to be better than is the person I was yesterday." And from that day forward, he stopped comparing his life with others. He simply focused on becoming the best version of himself. Because true happiness begins the moment you stop looking at someone else's path and start appreciating your own. And just like the flowers in the garden, your time to bloom will come. You simply have to keep growing.